Hi, my name's Dee and welcome to Sunchild Tarot. Now this is a general reading for Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, whatever area of your chart you're looking at. And as ever, there is a link in the description down below to get yourself a free birth chart. Now, as a general reading rules apply, so timing is far from absolute. Roles can get reversed if I see energies, I see actions. Most of them I assume to be you. Ever so often I will notice other people, but they are actions and energies that you are encountering, whether you are performing them or somebody else is performing them. So the cards don't come with name tags, so ever so often that can get a bit confused. Now, as a general reading, this is for, or being filmed for, December 2020. Now it's relevant for whenever you find it, but if you are watching this sort of on time, then we've just passed the lunar eclipse in Gemini, partial lunar eclipse, and we're coming up to a total solar eclipse in Sag. So that lunar eclipse energy will be with us for about 3 months or so. The solar eclipse energy can last up to 6 months. And bear in mind that both indicate fairly permanent changes that come around. So if you haven't seen your lunar eclipse readings yet, there is links in the description down below for the lunar eclipse readings by your sign. What's your sun, moon and rising? Yeah, obviously this will take all night, this. But also there is a show I did with astrologer David Fischer discussing the astrology of the full moon, full moon lunar eclipse. And also there was a collective reading that I did after I did all the sign specific readings, just because the same themes seem to be coming out again and again and again, except for Pisces, who are in a world of their own. And so check those out. There's also a link down below for the Facebook page for this channel, where you'll see these videos, obviously. And I tend to post all the astrology weather forecast videos that I watch. So I try to make it a bit of a one-stop shop, you know. So, as I say, general reading. Now, it either is for you or it isn't, because there is a past and a present in this spread. If the past and the present do not fit, then go and watch your moon sign, go and watch your rising sign. In fact, always go for the rising sign first, because that was the most important in ancient astrology. But what I would like you to do before I go to the cards, because you can probably see them this side, being shuffled right now, is ask a question. Now, obviously, I'm not going to know what it is. But spend a moment, pause the video if you have to, ask a question, be aware of all the questions that are around you at the moment and focus on one of them, but do be aware of all of them because, the cards will answer whatever they please and do not necessarily have the same sense of priority as we do. And that should be, I think I've remembered everything. Yep, that should be on my waffle over. Oh, I'm getting quicker and quicker at my waffle bit. Let's go to the cards. Right, so there is one major message coming through for you, Virgo. Justice will be done. You know, basically that's what's I'm going to go to the camera because I always like to check the oracle card definitions before I start, but we have on the bottom of the Chinese tarot, because I've used the steampunk tarot. Well, where's my box? Steampunk Tarot by Tuttle, which is a beautiful deck. That's my main one. Then the Lost Tarot of Nostradamus, which is superb. Actually, I really, really enjoy using this one. And then finally, the Chinese Tarot. And on the bottom of the Chinese Tarot, we have Justice. Then we have, from the Tarot of the Angels, the Power Kemuel, who is constantly balancing between correct and incorrect, good and bad, or good and evil. Well, I'll stick with good and bad, right and wrong. It's constantly trying to achieve that balance. We have HUD, submission, which is the 8th emanation of the Tree of Life, and it is very much about going with the flow. But we've got this justice issue. We also have reconciliation, the angel of reconciliation. So there's some really interesting themes coming out here. So reading purely from the oracle cards, we have Hahaya with refuge, and Hinanritapo, who here represents trust. But she's another one who was betrayed, and she sought refuge in the underworld and didn't really trust anybody from that point on. Now, her story is quite interesting because one thing it says here is you've been given a second chance. Now, whether this is a second chance because of something that you have done, or it's a second chance at a situation. And this is what I feel like there is a second chance of at a situation. Although it may be something you have done, because we've also got this matriarch card, Mother of Homestead. She led a perfectly virtuous life, but made no priority of worship for the gods of the Duat, Egyptian afterlife. So they went, yeah, you're not coming into heaven. You didn't pay us our due, you're not coming into heaven. So she set up a shelter, for want of a better word, within her region of afterlife, and looks after lost and wandering souls. Her message is there's some things you can never come back from, but it doesn't matter, because you can still lead a good life from that point on. So there's something that somebody is unable to come back from, that you have taken refuge from, whether you were the, you may have been the somebody that has done something that you can't come back from. Might be you, might be someone around you that you're dealing with. If it is, I would say it's a fairly, I don't know whether I want to say close relationship or intimate relationship. I want to say significant relationship. That's the way. And you're getting another chance, because from the of dealing with this and having justice be seen, and justice be seen to be done. We have from the Dark Mirror Oracle, Calling the Storm, which is very much like the situation where you're in currently is a tower situation. Something is crumbling down, but this is something that you have grabbed on by choice. So you have called this storm, and now that you have called this storm, it is up to you to almost submit to the consequences of what you have set into motion, which I feel are going to be positive. So everything sounds quite scary up until that point, doesn't it? But I feel that this is going to be positive. Ten of Leviathans here, the time that you're going into, is a grounded, it's the Ten of Pentacles. It's a grounded material time where things are good, things are solid, family is close, the practical things are being sorted, and you've been taken to a better place by this as well. This is Six of Stars, which Six of Swords, as you know, goes to a better place, but it's the dove bringing the first olive branch back from the first piece of land, from, you know, bringing it back to the ark. I can't remember what land they actually landed on. I should know that, shouldn't I? Now, Tina Poe says she drew back. You have gone, right, I'm not drawing back anymore. I am going to win this. I have won this. Simply by setting all of this into motion, I have won this. So we've got Six of Engines, which is Six of Wands, feeling victorious. Seven of Suns. I thought that was a 6, but no, 7 of Suns, which is indicating a meeting with your peers and you are feeling like you have come up a level. Especially something that you've done purely off your own back. You're the one that's fought for this. And number 8. Is that the strength card? This engineer? Yeah, it's the strength card. I had a moment of doubt there. So other people are seeing the strength of what you are putting forward. But they're also seeing that you have been in some form of pain, but this situation is throwing you a lifeline. This is what this 3 of airships is saying, and especially 3 of moons, 3 of cups. So you've got support around you, and you will be surprised at who and what is coming to your defense, or what you are able to bring into being for your... I don't want to use the phrase defense. Still haven't finished my introduction with the oracle cards. The Keeper of the Scales. That Justice vibe thing going on. There's so much here about setting something right. And this is something I believe that you have caused a storm. So if you did the wrong thing, you have revealed you've done the wrong thing. You've owned up to it. After being in a position of power to be able to go, yeah, I can withstand all of this. We've got the Emperor here clarified by the Star and the Queen of Swords. I'm rather thinking that it's not you that did the thing. Technical words here. You come here for eloquent technical words. But no, it's not you that did the thing, I don't think. Not with this Queen of Swords at the bottom. This Queen of Swords is basically you very recently going... no more, because you have been equipped to move forward on this. You've been equipped to level up, and some form of change that has come in recently has made you go, right, now, I'm doing it now. You've done this. But you've got support with it. You've definitely got support. And it's not that you're not hurting yourself in the process of doing it either. You are. But I honestly think it's... the phrase that comes to mind is no pain, no gain. You know, there's... but you are surging ahead with some form of burden that you've taken on board. But this is actually... yes... this is expanding your power because of the debate that you have created. So there's definitely other people here, as well as the support from friends that you've got. And I think you've got support from people who you don't expect it from. That you know, that previously you thought they didn't even know you. You know, or you probably don't know them. But there's a surprising amount of support going on here. So information will come through that will make you are expanding your power by doing this, but also some information comes through that makes you debate, hang on, am I doing this right? Have I set this right? But yes, this is this card is the Time Machine. Now it's supposed to be the Wheel of Fortune, but I am again taking it on the level of a time machine, because you are setting something right and you are getting the insight and the balance to see how everything fits together. And Tower card again. So that's an ongoing situation. I've not seen the Tower card in this particular tarot. It's really pretty. And I also feel like it's a matter of putting an end to something. Putting an end to something that you had been seeking refuge from. Now, if you're still seeking refuge, the advice of these cards is pretty obviously stop it, stand up and do something. Now is the time to speak out. Because you've had a great dream before in the past that ended up being so much work and too much of a burden. And you may be feeling that this one could be the same way, but it did end up being a healing experience. It did end up resolving itself quite fast and ended up with you leveling up, you coming up in your confidence, in your skills, in your position. So you are hoping for a repeat of this. And again, with this time machine card being right down here, I am thinking that whatever is going on here, since it's a positive lesson, is something that can be repeated. You have got the tools to repeat this. But bear in mind that matriarch card does imply that there's some things that you can't go back from. So what I'm wanting to say from this is, what I'm wanting to say for this is, it's almost like once the genie is out of the bottle, there's no putting it back. Oh, I might try and I'll try and remember that for the title of the video. So it is an anxious time that you're heading into, but you'll be surprised what insight. So astronomer would be the Queen of Pentacles. What insight a little bit of nurturing is going to give you here. Now that makes sense here. You need to, this is a challenge that you're going to that you are facing at the moment, and it is really, really important that you are taking time to look after yourself. Where you've had a refuge before of hiding, now you still need to have a refuge, but it's not for hiding, it's for healing and taking a break. So you've got all this tower energy that's going on, and for you to really fulfill your role within that tower energy, and you go in and you kick butt, you know, and you say what you need to say, and you declare your law with your own voice, but then you go home, you run yourself a bath, you know, you put the candles up, you have a good meal. And this is what this priestess of earth is, because it's saying, high priestess of earth, sorry, it's saying look after yourself, feed yourself properly, rest yourself properly, make sure that your feet are touching the earth, make sure that you are remaining grounded. And this is why, like I say, you've let the genie out of the bottle, so there's a certain thing, you know what role you've got to play here. You know that you have to go out at 9 in the morning and be going rah 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 rah, get this sorted, but then you come home at 5 o'clock and you sit in front of the fire, or you have a bath and you have a nice meal, and you relax and recuperate from that day, because the next day will probably be just as difficult for a while. But there is victory at the end of this, support from others, victory and insight. So the way of that insight, there was something else around here that made me think of this. I do feel that whatever you might be going rah 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 about, whatever genie you've let out of the bottle, there's a few things yet that you don't know. And those few things will come as a surprise, obviously. But they also might just ameliorate the pain somewhat, the initial hurt, the initial wrong, because all of a sudden, you know, it was, this happened and it's not at all understandable. And then during the course of this campaign, investigation, confrontation, whatever it is, certain facts are revealed where doesn't make what has happened right, but it does make it a little bit more understandable as to where this has come from, as to how this happened in the first place. As you know, that I'm getting that feeling of a sort of, oh, So that's why they blah 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 blah. And again, that emphasizes this message of Kemuel, of the balancing the right and the wrong, the good and the bad. Because yeah, there was a bad thing that happened. Absolutely, there was a bad thing that happened, and you're right to be calling in the storm, but you don't yet know everything. But the whole point of you calling in this storm is as a healing experience. It's to put this thing. There was a Ten of Swords somewhere, wasn't there? It's to oh no, it's a Queen of Swords. Sorry, it's to put this thing to rest. To say, right, that's it, finished. I'm not hiding from it anymore. Justice will be done. Now let's have a look at the final outcome card. Okay, so it's a slow justice, but it does involve more information coming through to you, and a rebirth of the... Well, what this says is you're almost there at the end. So 9 of Vengeance, 9 of Wands, Wounded Warrior, nearly there, not quite finished. So I'd rather think that this is opening up a pathway to take this fight to a bigger level, to a greater, larger, wider level, a wider field. So say, I mean, one thing that, say this is about abuse, right? So you're confronting a person of what they've done. I mean, abuse, when I say abuse, I don't just mean domestic violence or sexual abuse. It could be some form of theft, some form of slander, some form of, do you know what I mean? There's scales of reference here. So take whatever is relevant to you. But there was some form of abuse, quite possibly perpetrated on you, possibly perpetrated by you. So what it looks like here is you're confronting the events of what actually happened and bringing them up to the light of day and making sure that the justice will be done and the scales are balanced and all of this. But then it's like it's a stepping stone to not fight or combat or confront the perpetrator of that abuse, but to combat that abuse in general. It's I don't want to use the word abuse really, but it fits the shape of what I'm seeing the best. Because say you've been a victim of domestic violence, you then take the perpetrator of that domestic violence to court, but then you go and work on a project that is combating domestic violence. So you see what I mean about the same fight, bigger scale coming up. I mean, this revelation that you've started, I mean, like I say, you've let the genie out of the bottle. This revelation that you've started, this shattering of things around you that you have begun and you have to submit to. You started this, so you have to submit to the consequences of this. But it is also a stepping stone onto that's the way, a wider playing field. I was going to say a wider battlefield, but no, a wider playing field. So that the lessons that you are learning from this smaller, more localized issue can then be put forth into a larger issue. Now, this could be, you know, fighting bullying in schools, or it could be 101 different things. But there was a wrong that you are trying to put right. You know, whether the wrong was performed by you or somebody else. I think somebody else, but it could have been you. And then through the dynamics of this particular battle, where you've got to be looking after yourself and go home and rest and, you know, eat properly and what have you. Don't let the stress get to you, because there is a beautiful horizon. Eight of airships is supposedly the Eight of Swords, but there's a beautiful horizon that this airship is going towards. And I'm going to say that it's going towards sunrise rather than sunset, because that's the hopefulness that I feel from it. But it's giving you the skills, the contacts, the people, the support, the mechanisms to take this issue, whatever it is, into a larger scale. So say you're a teenager, you've been bullied, you're confronting the bully, and you're getting it into the open that this bully has been doing this in your school or college. Then all of a sudden you're on an anti-bullying committee and you're working on anti-bullying programs. Do you see what I mean? There's that massive, you know, a jumping up. I think I'm repeating myself now. So this is actually really, really positive, but you must look after yourself in the process of it. And I think that's all I'm going to say, Virgo, because anything else I say will be repeating myself. So if this does apply to you, well, one, good luck, look after yourself. But two, let me know if you want to, comment down below, because it is nice to know that it's always good to know when these readings find their home, that the readings go for where they are. Well, I was going to say where they're aimed for, and they are aimed for someone, but not by me. I just throw them out there and just hope that they get to the right place. You know, there's so I'm not the one doing the aiming. But it's always nice to know when the one hits home. So yeah, comment down below. Obviously press like, share, subscribe. Maybe not share on this one, eh? But, I mean, I would like you to, but you might not want to. And I will see you soon. There will be full moon readings. No, there won't. There'll be new moon readings coming out, solar eclipse readings. There will be other readings. Now, as I say, watch your lunar eclipse readings, and yeah, just spend the whole night, if not the next 3 days, on my channel. All right? Cheers.